Assalamu alaikum everyone. Today we are going to study gross anatomy of ureter and its relations in the pelvic part as well as abdominal part, and they are the most frequently asked questions in UHS that give the relations abdominal relations of the ureter or pelvic part relations of the ureter, and they are quite difficult. That's why I made the mnemonics for those relations, and they will be easy to remember. So first of all, we need to see the course of the ureter. Ureter are these elongated tube-like structure which is arising from the hilum of the kidney and taking all the urine towards the urinary bladder. So it begins within the renal sinus. This hilum and renal sinus are the same thing. It begins within the renal sinus as funnel-shaped dilation as renal pelvis. So ureter have the second name, that is renal pelvis. It is starting here at the hilum of the kidney as funnel-shaped dilatation and continue as renal pelvis. It descends down medially. If you can see, I made the course. So first of all, it is towards the body. Its course is medially, and after some time it's going laterally. So it descends down medially. After that, it gradually narrows and becomes the ureter proper. Here it gradually narrows and it becomes the ureter proper, and then passes medially on the tips of transversus process and psoas major. These are both the muscles of the posterior abdominal wall, and kidneys are lying posteriorly, so they pass medially on the tips of the transverse process and psoas major. So on the posterior side of the ureter, there will be tip of the transverse process and psoas major. So begins as funnel-shaped dilatation from the hilum of the kidney, continue as renal pelvis, descends medially, and gradually it narrows down and becomes the ureter proper and passes medially on the tips of transverse process and psoas major. After that, it enters the pelvis by crossing in front of the common iliac artery, and then in pelvis it runs backwards and laterally. You can see here, this is the common iliac artery. Aorta is lying opposite to this hilum, and then aorta is further divided into right and left common iliac arteries. So they said that where it crosses the common iliac artery, that is the pelvic part. From here, where the aorta bifurcates into common iliac, it enters into the pelvis. So always when there is bifurcation and common iliac artery starts, here it enters the pelvis. So their abdominal relations ends and pelvic part starts. So after that, it becomes laterally and descends down into the bladder. Opposite the ischial spine, you know the ischial spine, you have studied it in hip bone in the first year. So opposite the ischial spine, it runs forwards and medially to reach the base of the urinary bladder. So medially, then it becomes laterally in the pelvic part, and then when it reaches the base of the bladder, it then again turns medially, right? This is the whole course of the ureter. After the course of the ureter, you need to know there are 5 normal constrictions, which they are very, very, very important. They are asked almost every year, otherwise at every alternate year. This is a 2.5 SEQ. So they ask that give normal constrictions of the ureter. What is meaning by normal constrictions of the ureter? As you know that there are stone formation in the kidneys. Sometimes those stones travel through the hilum of the kidney to the ureter. So there are 5 points where ureter narrows down, and there is risk for lodging of the stone in the ureter. So 5 sites where we look for the obstruction of the stones. These are these 5 places. Again, they are asked 2.5 SEQ. For that, I am going to elaborate those 5 constrictions at this diagram. So first place will be the pelviureteric junction, right? Means when ureter started from the hilum of the kidney and descends down, immediately there is this pelviureteric junction place where the ureter is narrowed down, and this is the common site for constriction. After the pelviureteric junction, there is brim of the lesser pelvis. So when it is crossing the pelvic brim and lesser pelvis, we are going to study in detail in pelvis. So that pelvic brim part, there is a second part for the constriction of the ureter. After that, when ureter is crossed by ductus deferens in males, and that is the third site where it's the most common site for the constriction. Ductus deferens is a structure present in males, and it is crossed at one place by that ductus deferens, and that is the third normal constriction sites. And then there is oblique passage through the bladder wall. Here the bladder started, so it passes obliquely into the bladder wall. That is the fourth part for the constriction. After that, where it opens into the trigone. Trigone is a part of urinary bladder. I'm going to show this on diagram. So this is bladder. So I'm saying that while fourth site is oblique passage through the bladder wall. This is oblique passage, so this is the fourth site. After that, bladder is forming a trigone shape. So this is the trigone area. So they say that fifth place is when it reaches on the lateral angle of the trigone. This is the lateral angle of the trigone of the bladder. So this is the fifth common site for the constriction. Again repeating, first is pelvic-ureteric junction, then crossing the pelvic brim, then after that where it is crossed by ductus deferens. Fourth place for the constriction is when it enters into the bladder wall, right on the entry, and then opening of that ureter into the lateral angle of the trigone of the bladder. These are the places. Okay, after that comes the most important part, is relations of the ureter. You need to write down these mnemonics in your books. First of all, we are going to study the relations of the abdominal part of the ureter. Unfortunately, we do not have model, or they do not make these sort of delicate models where they can show all the relations of the ureter. So best way for you is to make the mnemonics to remember them. So abdominal part of the ureter has got anterior relations, and anterior on the right side. On the right side, the right ureter will have some different relations anteriorly, and the left side of the ureter will have different relations. As there are right and left sides of the body, so right ureter will have different anterior relations and left ureter will have different anterior relations. For the right side, you need to make this mnemonic GRIP. G-R-I-P, GRIP. So G stands for gonadal vessels, and R stands for right colic vessels and root of mesentery, while I ileocolic vessels, and P is for peritoneum. So gonadal vessels, right colic vessels, ileocolic vessels, and peritoneum are making the anterior relations of the right ureter. Then the left side has got mnemonic GPS. You know that in the mobile, when they ask for the location, that is known as GPS location. So the left side will have GPS mnemonic, and G is again that gonadal artery, P is again that peritoneum, and S is sigmoid colon and mesocolon. You know that sigmoid colon and mesocolon are lying on the left side, so automatically S stands for that sigmoid colon and mesocolon. So these are the anterior relations of the abdominal part of the ureter. After that, we have the posterior relations of the abdominal part of the ureter, and then the medial relation. So we have anterior, posterior, and medial relation. For the posterior relation, you have the mnemonic go to party. So G stands for genitofemoral nerve, T stands for tip of the transverse process. I told you that kidneys are lying on the posterior side. So on the posterior side of the kidneys, there are tip of the transverse process and psoas major, and they are ureter is crossing these two things. So T stands for tip of the transverse process, and P stands for that psoas major. So genitofemoral nerve, tip of the transverse process, and psoas major. While the medial relations again different. On the right side it is going to be inferior vena cava, and on the left side that is going to be left gonadal vein. Now comes the pelvic part. Pelvic part have even more interesting mnemonics for the relations. Pelvic part have only posterior relations and the lateral relations. You can see abdominal part is not having any lateral relations. Abdominal part had anterior, posterior and medial relations, while pelvic part has posterior and lateral relations. for remembering the posterior relations of the pelvic part of the ureter, you can make this mnemonic SILI, S-I-L-I. So C stands for sacroiliac joint, I stands for internal iliac artery. I told you that pelvic part of the ureter starts when it crosses that bifurcation of the common iliac artery. So common iliac artery further divides into external and internal iliac artery. So pelvic part have the posterior relations with internal iliac artery. L stands for lumbosacral trunk and I stands for internal iliac vein. So sacroiliac joint, internal iliac artery, lumbosacral trunk and internal iliac vein are making the posterior relations of the pelvic part of the ureter. After that, laterally we have mnemonic SUFI, right? So SUFI has 3 O's and S stands for the superior vesical artery. Now remember, this is the pelvic part and this is the part where ureter is entering into the urinary bladder. Urinary bladder blood supply is from the vesical arteries and vesical nerves. So S stands for superior vesical artery laterally, and then O is obturator artery, obturator nerve and obturator vein. Then F is for the fascia that is covering the obturator internus muscle which you studied in the lower limb. Then I stands for inferior vesical vein, again that vesicle which belongs to the bladder. So these are the lateral relations SUFI. Then in males there are some different lateral relations and in females there are some different lateral relations according to their reproductive structures. So in males there is going to be ductus deferens and seminal vesicle. Obviously they are not present in females. So females will have uterine artery and supravaginal portion of the cervix. Again these relations are different due to the different reproductive organs due to different genders. So female will have lateral relations of uterine artery and supravaginal portion of the cervix. So always remember these different relations and do not ignore them or do not forget them. That's it for the ureter relation. After that comes the blood supply. So blood supply of the ureter is divided into 3 parts, again because some part is abdominal and some part is pelvic. So in the abdominal part, ureter's upper ureter got the blood supply from the renal artery, while in the middle part ureter got the blood supply from the aorta, while on the lower part ureter gets the blood supply from the pelvis. That's why in the lower part the blood supply of the pelvic part will be from the vesical, middle rectal and uterine vessels. Now the nerve supply, ureter is supplied by sympathetic and parasympathetic nerves. So sympathetic supply is T10 to L1 while parasympathetic is from S2 to S4 nerves. That's it you need to remember. So mark the ureter, very important, and make all these mnemonics I told you in the notes. Thank you so much.